Hello, Aries. How are you? Today is October 14th, 2023. Today we have a new moon eclipse in Libra. This is conjunct the south node in Libra and opposing the north node in Aries. If you have planets at 22, 21, 22, in and around there in the cardinal signs, so Aries, Cancer, Libra, or Capricorn, you will feel this the most. Now, the last week, I told you last week this was going to be a bumpy week. It was exactly as planned. Fortunately, between now and next Saturday, the planets are relatively quiet. Oops. Next Saturday, there's a Sun-Pluto square. No. Yes, Sun-Pluto square. That will be unpleasant, but we'll deal with that next week. So this week should be a little bit quieter, but obviously still dealing with the fallout of some of the events that occurred. So the overall energy for the week is growth. Now, one of the things that came up in the reading that I did for the members is that growth, it takes time. Is this like right sized? Right. You don't plant a seed and then whoop, it's there the next day. Things take time. There's a process. It needs to be watered properly, needs to be in the right soil, healthy conditions. It's a complicated process. And depending on what it is that you are trying to grow, how you go about maximizing that or making sure that happens in a healthy way can be different. So that said, we are in a new moon phase for the next 2 weeks, and eclipses tend to speed things up, right? So if there was a change in your life that you were meant to make that you were putting off, it's likely that the universe will arrange itself so that something happens for you to make that decision. You may hear things that you didn't expect. There could be surprising couples, surprising sentences. There could be any number of pieces of information. There may also be the sign. So like a flower, it goes through an entire process. It's in the bud, in the bud, in the bud, in the bud. And then one day, poof, it blooms. So you may also have some sort of visible, concrete evidence that as things like burst through from underneath of the growth that has happened. Now, this growth may not be monetary. It may not be tangible. It may be emotional growth. It may be spiritual growth. You may, let's say you get into a fight with somebody and normally you would have popped off and said a bunch of nasty things. You may find that you deal with it in a different way. Or you may find that new aspects of your personality are starting to come out. Let's see what else comes out here. But there could be a sign this week of something breaking through, starting to pop up from underneath. So some visible confirmation of the process, or your energetic investment over the past few months and how they're starting to pay off. Okay, and the challenge is the 8 of Cups, so letting it go. That feels very blown out. Let me see if I can adjust this. There we go. Having a challenge moving on. Interesting that they're both plants, huh? I want to see how the rest of this plays out before I comment fully. So, let me get here. What's the lesson, please? Too many. What's the lesson for the Aries watching this video, please? All right. This is, I'm not mad at this one. Expect miracles, the Holy Spirit. So this says, remember that only love is real. Miracles will occur naturally. Spirit has your back. So you may find that actually this moving forward, this growth that's happening, the clue that you get that growth has happened requires you to step away from something old. In order for us to move on to a new path, we do have to leave the other one. So this may feel uncomfortable. Or you may be challenged by behavioral patterns of the past, a relationship from the past, a job from the past. Your past may be haunting you, and some event occurs to show you visibly, demonstrate to yourself how much growth has happened in this area. Or you may be trying to move away from a past, to leave things behind you and move in a new direction. And it's been very hard, and things are not playing out the way you would like them to, as quickly as you would like them to. It's going like one drop at a time, but those drops have been creating ripples. And you may see, it's like the drops have been creating ripples. And now we start to see like what had to grow, what had to happen underneath in order for this to break through the surface. So you may start to get visible, like I said at the beginning, very visible confirmation that a person, place, situation from your past that you wanted to get away from, you are now moving away from. And it's possible that they may just find themselves taken out of your life, like all of a sudden. I used to have this colleague that we did not get along, let's just put it that way. She was a Cancer. And it was a constant struggle, and then just like out of nowhere she just quit, and my whole life changed, and I was like, thank you. So it could be one of those things that all of a sudden you're given King of Cups, you're given either the opportunity to grow, you may be taken off an old path that you felt really stagnant before. Something happens really surprisingly to put you on a new path where there is greater growth in a different environment. It could come from a water sign male, or it could just be something that makes you very happy. 2 more cards, please. All right, the Hanged Man. One more card, please. And the Page of Cups. Okay. So these kind of echo things, right? The growth, like I said, since it's coming, the Hanged Man is coming right under the growth card. It could be just a change of thinking, or you change how you're thinking about a situation. You may find that actually one of the challenges is that you were in maybe you're in a really good paying job, but there was nowhere to go. And so you've been stuck for a really long time, wanted to do something else. This can also go for relationships, right? Like you were in a relationship, but it had nowhere else to go. The person that you were interested in was a little too comfortable, not taking it forward at all. You were feeling stagnant, wondering if maybe there was something else to do, and you get another offer. Now, the offer is potentially less. The offer is for something new, right? I want to get a couple more cards here. The offer is for something new. I want to see what else comes here. Can you continue this story, please? You may have a choice between two situations and you don't know what to do. Huh. Okay, so this came up in reverse. I don't read reversals. My cards know that. You have a 10 of Pentacles and the Strength card here. So there's definitely something on offer that's going to make you very happy. So first of all, we have 3 major arcana cards here. Something on offer that's going to make you very happy. I think the issue is because we have the Hangman and the Strength, which talks about reflecting, thinking, that you may have a choice even between two things. One may take you more to your path and to your old path, to your past. But it's comfortable, you know it. You know, it's like you get a really good paying job offer, but you've like done it already 100 times, and then you get another new job offer, which could be more fun, could be interesting, but it pays less, right? And to me, this is like the 10 of Pentacles suggests that there is a possibility for satisfaction anyway. Like, I kind of feel like there's no wrong choice. But the question is, what's the better choice for you? You know? And which one gives you the greatest potential to grow in the future? Like, what will help you grow in a different environment? You know, I think it's that by switching the environment is where the growth comes from, actually. So even though it like looks like it's less than what you thought, or less than what you had in the past, or less than what you expected, that it actually benefits you in the end anyway. Because the Strength card is head over heart, right? And these are emotional ties. So there's a strong emotional tie to something in the past, but that's exactly what needs to let go of. We have the 8 of Cups here, right? And the growth comes from these two plants are in very different environments. This one, sorry about that, mixing things up. This one is kind of like a wild environment, grows on its own. This is more of a controlled environment, so you can actually keep the growth under, I don't like the word control, but like you can tend to the growth more directly as opposed to it just naturally happening. And so you can grow more in the direction you want to. And so even though it may feel new, may feel less, may feel like uncomfortable, the idea is to put head over heart here and think which one is going to give me a better opportunity for growth. And it may not be the one you are more emotionally attached to. All right, let me get some advice here. Let me get some advice for the Aries watching this video. Week of October 14th. Okay, what do we have here? All right, so it's a 13, which is a 4, which as we know in the traditional tarot is the Aries card. It's the Emperor. This talks about Archangel Adnakiel and Tiger's Eye, which is funny because I was thinking about Tiger's Eye came up in one of my meditations that I listened to, and I was like, I should get some of that because they were talking about citrine, and I have that, but I don't know if I have the Tiger's Eye, although I think this is that one actually. So anyway, it says Tiger Spirit rises. So let's read this. All right. So we bring you the gift of the Tiger Spirit rising. You are being empowered with a truth more potent than fear, right? And both of these cards point to truth right here. Seeing things in a new light, putting head over heart, using a different kind of intelligence than just the emotional intelligence. Your spirit is rapidly expanding beyond what opinion and logic can contain. It needs to be free to run wild with divine grace in the world, right? And I was talking about switching up the environments. Like these two guys operate in very different environments. This one does different things, is more on the ground, operational. Your life, your destiny, your divine fulfillment requires that you have the courage to roar for love, to refuse to be put down, to respect yourself, and to let your untamed, loving heart be free. Your spirit creates a field of divine electricity through the body, through your body and mind, that can liberate others from conformity and social conditioning. Right? That's kind of like freeing you up, right? Allowing them to break away from systems based in control and fear. As your tiger spirit rises, you excite and empower the tiger spirit in others to rise above conditioning as they discover the wild divine spirit being they are in truth. Okay, so hold on. Let me switch something that I said before. I'm going to invert these two, right? Remember before I said giving more controlled growth? It's like teaching people how to grow out of a controlled environment. Letting go of like needing others to fertilize their thinking or their actions. There's lots of different messages in here, but this is another one. Embracing more of that wild growth. Or teaching others how to grow in their own environment, right? So it's really, there's multiple messages here, like I said. Would take whichever one resonates most with you. But I think, there's ultimately the outcome of the decisions is the same. It's just, that last card tells me that you're really trying to get out of your comfort zone. You've been trying to get out of your comfort zone and into something new and exciting that really just lights you up and makes you feel good and gives you the opportunity to share with other people. But it may mean like earning less or being less comfortable, having to sort of start over emotionally as well. But that ultimately the outcome is just as good, if not better. So to not necessarily be you want to move away from things where you feel stagnant, and where you don't feel like you can grow. Right? So if you're taking a job, if you're looking at a job that's like exactly what you've been doing all the time, and you're worried like, oh, but this one is making less, but it makes me feel so much more excited than if you can make it work financially, then that seems to be what the universe is encouraging. Of course, all of your situations are different, so it's going to depend. We would have to take a look at your chart individually. But the idea here is, to make balanced decisions, but to not discount one or the other, right? If you're like preferring monetary security over something that lights you up, like, is there a way you can bring those two into balance? Or how do you, or how do you make it work, right? At the same time of being comfortable, being financially comfortable, and still getting the word out there, right? This mission that you have to spread the word. Is there a way you can multi-hyphenate the situation so that you're able to grow in both environments? So lots of messages here. Hope that wasn't confusing. Again, take which one resonates most for you. Ignore the other ones. Good luck out there. Have a great week.